Last week, I'd mentioned that there's a new AI technology that I've been working with specifically related to AppSheet, and I was hoping to show a demo of that today. However, that thing is being a little bit more finicky than I would like, and therefore the demo is taking a little bit longer to put together. So I don't have that ready yet. However, there's another new AI technology that came out from Google within the last couple of weeks, and it is also AppSheet related. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that is Google Opal. If you haven't heard of it yet, it's a tool that lets you build visual workflow automations around Google Workspace documents and Google AI technologies. And therefore, it's very relevant specifically to what we're doing with AppSheet. And it really helps to fill one of the gaps with AppSheet currently. AppSheet, it has some recent AI technologies that have come out kind of centered around categorization and image recognition and that space specifically, but there's not really anything out of the box for supporting AI text generation. So that's things like taking some content that you have within AppSheet, pulling pieces of it out and generating an email based on it or generating a blog post based on it or anything like that. Like, again, we have AI related technologies, but not really that kind of AI related technologies. So what I'm going to show today is how you can use Opal for doing that kind of thing. And then you'll have some kind of solution while we're waiting for AppSheet to add that type of capability into AppSheet itself. But first, if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Doug, and what we do here is talk about Google AppSheet and AppSheet-related technologies like Opal. If you're interested in that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe. I post new videos just about once a week, so if you are subscribed, you'll be sure to see them within your YouTube feed. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I really appreciate you continuing to watch the videos and support what we're trying to do here. Okay, let's take a look at the new Google Opal. All right, so here is Opal. You see that it's at opal.withgoogle.com. I'll include the link to that down in the description. And you also see that it's labeled as experiment. This, again, is brand new. It just came out in late July 2025, and therefore it's not a fully kind of production-enabled Google product yet. It's what they call one of their early access products. So if you're using a Google Workspace account and you don't have this enabled already, you'll have to enable access to early access projects, or if you're not the admin of your workspace, you'll have to ask your admin to do that. Otherwise, you won't be able to go in and use this particular thing since it is early access. If you do run into that and you still want to play around with it anyway, you could use a Gmail account instead of using your Google Workspace account, which shouldn't have those types of limitations with it because it's not actually managed by your organization. So that's an option if you can't get your admins to turn it on for you. So as I mentioned, what Opal does is let you build workflows around the Google AI tools and Google Workspace data. So that's things like Google Sheets, Google Docs, things like that. And one of the great things about AppSheet is since it uses Google Sheets as one of its primary backing data sources, you get compatibility with all these different tools that are compatible with Google Sheets, which is a lot of things because Google Sheets is so powerful. So even though Opal does not, at least currently, have a direct integration with AppSheet, because it has that integration with Google Sheets, you're still able to leverage all of its capabilities, even though it does not have that direct connection to AppSheet. So to get started, you'll go in here. If you hadn't, I've already registered with this account, but if you hadn't done that already, you'd have to just go through those standard permission dialogues that you've probably seen many times with the Google products, just asking you to give permission to access your Google account in order to be able to access things. But once you do that, you'll land on this page. You see they've got a gallery of a bunch of different projects here that they've created for you already. It's really helpful to look at these and click around and see how they actually work to just get an understanding of how the flows work within Opal in general. So once you start building your own workflows, you might want to do that first. But we're just going to jump in right now. And what we're going to do is we have a application that just manages orders. So let me open this up in AppSheet. It's got orders and it's got details about a particular order, just some basic details: the order ID, the customer email address, what they ordered, quantity, status, notes, etc. And again, this is back to using Google Sheets. So if I go view my data source, there's just a sheet here that's linked up to the AppSheet, and that's again what I'm going to pull into Opal and able to pull my order data. So let's go back to Opal again. I'm going to create a new app in Opal. And what we want to have this app do is send an email to a customer to let them know about what a particular problem is, or a question, or any kind of detail about the order. But instead of having to spend all the time writing out that full email in a professional tone, we want to just kind of write something out really quick and have it pull together the order information, and then create an email based on whatever the quick text we entered plus whatever's there. Write a complete professional email from that. So the pieces that we're going to need to do that are, first, the order ID, so we can tell the AI what order we're interested in. Second, the little blurb of text that we say what we want the email about. And third, the person that this email is from, because we could be using the same Opal application for multiple people within our org. So we want to be able to sign the emails based on whoever sent it. So the first thing we need to do is create those inputs. And the first thing, again, I said, is the orders. So we want to actually add in our Google Sheet that has the orders in it. And I can do that by just saying add assets, my drive, and selecting the orders. And you see it pulls in this little bubble here that has that order data. And then the three other things that we talked about adding were, first, the order ID. So I'm just going to click user input up there. I'm going to name this order ID. And I'm going to say the ID of the order, obviously. It does help the AI a little bit if you give it some clear descriptions of what exactly things are and what exactly you want, I found. So just to give it the necessary context, try to give it as much information, or at least a basic idea of what each one of these things are when you're creating these. So, and the next one was the reason for email. The reason we're sending the customer an email. All right, and then the third one that we had was the sender. We'll say the first name of the person sending the email. Okay, so those are all of our inputs. The next thing that we want is the actual AI that's going to pull all those pieces together and generate our email for us. So we do that by clicking generate. That creates this blob, and I'm going to call this one write email. And off screen here, I have the blurb of text that we're going to use for our AI prompt. So let me go over and copy and paste that. I'm going to say that I want to use the Gemini 2.5 model, which is just as it says there, a general text generation model for everyday tasks. So I'm going to use that in order to generate the response. And then, so this prompt is basically telling the AI what exactly it needs to do. So we're telling that it's writing an email to the customer based on the order record. And then this is saying what the input was. So we're going to provide all the input that we had in these 4 different elements here. And I'm going to link those things up in just a second. And then what we want it to do is to find the record in the sheet that matches the order ID, use the record's details in order to inform the message that it's going to be writing, and then to generate a complete professional email with the following fields: the customer's email address, the subject line, and then the body that opens with their first name, clearly communicates the order details, reflects the reason that we're reaching out to them, maintains warm, respectful tone, and then ends with appropriate closing and the sender's name. And then we're going to return that email from the whole thing. So as I said, the next thing we need to do is actually connect the pieces here. So we need to connect all these inputs and feed them into this AI so that it generates everything for us based on that information. So to do that, you just click this little circle that's in the upper right-hand corner of these bubbles, and you drag it onto the AI. So you see now it linked orders into here, and it actually put it down at the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that message and put it up here just to make it flow a little bit better in what we're writing. So it's saying this is the sheet, and it's providing the sheet. So the next thing we have down here is the order ID, so we want to link that as well. Sometimes I find this, again, is experimental. I find that I have to do this like multiple times to get it to work. There's a few different things within this that you have to do a couple times to get it to work. So bear with it. It is new. It is experimental. And just try something again if it doesn't work the first time. So again, I put the order ID down there at the bottom. I'm going to put that right here. The reason for the email, again, didn't work again the first time. Second time it worked. So I'm going to put that here, and then the sender name, I'm going to put, maybe it's because I'm dropping it onto the header that it's not showing up the first time, so maybe if you drop it onto the bottom it will work, but I'm not sure without trying that again, so something worth trying. All right, and I'll paste that in there. All right, so now that's linked to all the inputs that we have and should generate the output based on that. And then we've got our email now. The next thing we want to do is actually add an output. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to move that over here. And this is just telling it what you want the outcome of this to be. And I'm going to say that I want a web page with auto layout. I want it to just basically display a web page that has the subject and the email and everything that was generated that we told it to generate from here, just so I can take that and copy and paste it into my email application in order to be able to send an email. So I'm going to again drag the output of this thing over here. Okay, so it's got generate email right there, the output of that thing. And I'm going to say or let's just say display the email, just to give it again a high level idea of what we want it to do. And we'll call this display email. Okay, that's all of the setup. One other thing that we might want to do here is just name our app so we know exactly what it is. So we'll call it Email Author. And another kind of cool thing that you can do in here is create a theme for it. So you just describe what you want your theme to be. So we'll say email to customers, and we could say, let's say maybe even more interesting, emails flying through space and helping out customers. And this is a theme. It's not like necessarily an image generator, so it just creates kind of an abstract thing based on that. So I don't actually expect to see flying emails, but maybe we will. Who knows? All right, this takes a few seconds, so I'll fast forward in the video here. All right, so here's what it came back with. You see it does have an email on top of it. Other than that, I don't know what that really has to do with whatever I said, but that's okay. We'll go with it. You could also hit generate random theme here, or just continue to create them if you were using this for real till you got something that you actually liked. And it's that simple to build the app. We can now go in and actually give it a try. So I'm going to go, oh, it's got more emails up the top of it. So there are some flying emails after all. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit start. And the first thing it's asking for is the ID of the order. So let's say that this order for Carol Wong is the one that we want to send an email about. So I'm going to put that in here. And why are we sending the email? So Carol Wong had ordered the Pro Tool 360, and you see here in our notes that it's back ordered. So say the 360 is back ordered. We do have the 370 in stock. It has all the same features, but a nicer handle. We can offer it to her at the same price. Okay, so that's what we're sending her the email about. I'm going to hit continue there. And then finally, who's this email from? I'm just going to say Doug. All right, now it's generating the email. It's displaying the email. There we go. So again, everything auto formatted from us there. It took and created an email based on that prompt with a subject, including the order name, Dear Carol, and a much more detailed professional message saying that that particular item is out of stock, that it's back ordered for this long. We have the 370 in stock that, we'd be happy to give it to you at the same price. Very professional email that would have taken, at least a few minutes to generate, that it wrote for you automatically just based on that very short input that I gave it as far as what I actually wanted to do. And you see this whole application took minutes to create as well. So Opal, through this drag and drop type user interface, really gives you the ability to build these type of applications very quickly. All right, we're going to wrap up here, but one other thing to call out really quickly is that what's happening here is this is reading your entire sheet into the context of the AI or the actual like text generation AI. And that's fine here because this isn't a very big spreadsheet. There's, only 10 records within this one. And it could handle a lot more than that, but it can't handle a huge amount of records. So if you have a very big sheet currently, you're probably going to run into issues actually trying to have the AI be able to read that whole sheet and pull things out of it. So if you are trying to do that, you might want to set things up into AppSheet where you're moving the records that you're actually trying to pull into here into a smaller sheet, just to kind of limit the amount of data that you're feeding into the AI. Because just like people, the AI has a certain amount of memory to it. And if you're talking to someone and they just keep throwing you information constantly, you're going to start forgetting some of it that came in at the beginning eventually. So you want to limit the amount that you're actually putting into it, because it will only be able to handle so much. So I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to that point with my experimentation with Opal yet. I don't know what kind of error messages it's going to show you when it starts to run up against that limit. But just keep that in mind, that there is a limit to the amount of data that you can pass into this. It's not 10 like we have here, but it's not like tens of thousands of records. You'd probably start to run into a problem at that point. All right, so that's Google Opal. If you're using it, I would definitely be interested in hearing how. Please let me know down in the comments. And if you made it this far and you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. That tells the YouTube algorithm that you actually like it, and it helps it to show it to more people so that they can find the video as well. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and happy building.